Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So, what's the problem? What is the freaking problem? Why, why, why is management trying to drive us crazy? Why are they trying to drive you crazy? Why are they so indecisive? You want to know why? Here's why.
These niggas say they dedicated, I don't see the dedication. They wanna say they dedicated, I don't see the dedication. These niggas say they dedicated, I don't see the dedication. They wanna say they dedicated, I don't see the dedication. These niggas say.
First and foremost, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Name is JH. We not at work yet. We just sitting, we waiting. So before anybody makes those accusations, we just waiting. We out here sipping on El Cafe con leche. What is with management? I just read a couple comments like I always do, and I know what I deal with here. So let's try to figure this out. Management, as one of the subscribers just said, is the most indecisive, unorganized entity that we have here at the post office. Sparked your interest? Of course. Do you know why? A lot of the people that are in management have been brought up due to different circumstances, whether it have been the need to fill a space, whether it be, this is truth, can't silence me, whether it be somebody having intimate relations with other individuals that are higher than them in order to get their position, promises from upper management to lower everyday me and yous, whatever the case may have been. A family member that may have been at the top puts in a word. A lot of management are not qualified to be managerial material. This is not all managers, don't get me wrong. But according to the survey says managers are very unorganized because they are put in positions that they have no control over. Hence why I'm not really a fan of management. An attempt for me to get into management would be very difficult because of my structure. Individuals that have been in the military know what structure is, although the military isn't the most organized either. What do we do? How do we change this? I made videos on how you guys are the future. We have a bad, toxic environment, which is usually created from managers having to take direction from upper management, which are generally paper pushers. One individual just said they hired a new postmaster straight off the street, which is basically a pencil pusher or somebody that is good with paper. Now, what is the best type of management, in my opinion? An individual that has shown strong dedication to the craft that they were in and actually know all of the ins and outs of that specific craft, and they were very good, or even just plain good, at the craft. And most importantly, they're not stepping into management because they want it for self-gratification. Although we are here for self, because you filled out the application for you, looking for a job, you'd leave there looking for a job for you. But once you step into a role where you have to supervise, manage a group of individuals, you should know basics. How to communicate with your coworkers, because even though you're managers, you're just a coworker. We get paid by the same people. You're just at a higher level of pay. You should be able to know how to do the specific job if need be. Wouldn't that make sense? Wouldn't that make sense? I I just don't understand how you'd have a mail processing clerk decide they were going to go over to a station and become a 204B or a manager for carriers if they've never, not once, carried a piece of mail. How do you determine what a route entails? How do you determine what the traffic is in that specific area? How do you determine how long it's going to take to fill a cluster box at one specific unit that holds 300 apartments? How do you know that? Oh, just by trial and error? Well, we don't have time for trial and error. A lot of the times they're making impulsive decisions that are not conducive to the actual operation. So it takes somebody that's actually doing the job and you throw them for a loop. Like, that doesn't even make sense. You want me to go and do this and then come back and then and unfortunately, as the worker bees, we have to turn around and do it, which makes it frustrating because they're like, well, I told you to do this. This is what you need to do. And you're looking at them like, you got, what is wrong with you? What is really wrong with you? That doesn't even make sense. And this goes for every single craft. And then when you look at the managers that they put in each of those positions, you have to kind of, it's not that you are forgiving them for their lack of knowledge, but you kind of have to try to brush it off saying, you know what, is what it is. I'm dealing with an idiot. And it sounds harsh, but the reality is it is true. And it's not that they're dumb per se. They just may be uninformed about your specific craft. And things do change, but it takes time. Which I'm very well versed in all the crafts, couldn't go out and become a manager for a carrier. Why? Because I've never carried one piece of mail. My daughter is, son does, family members do, sister. But does that make me a professional? No. Does that say that I know the structure behind it? No. But unfortunately, because I have a qualification, because I have a degree, or because I slept with upper management, or I'm just really friendly, or not friendly, or I am what managers want, a yes man, they put me in that position. And now I am daunted with the task of being the manager to try to give instruction to a bunch of carriers which have been carrying 20, 30 years. Will I get the respect or will I gain the respect? No, absolutely not. So when you decide you want to step into management, make sure you step into management in the craft that you're in. Very important. And work your way up. Work your way up. Learn everything that you need to do. Not everybody is managerial material because it's a psychology behind being a manager. Not only do you need to know your craft, you need to be able to know how to deal with people in every single circumstance. Every single circumstance. There is no empathy between management and the workers. Now, not saying that everybody should be empathetic towards your specific situation, but if my son is sick and I let people, hey, look, man, my son's sick, I gotta get out of here in the next hour or so, and managers tell me, no, you can't, well, I'm gonna tell them to kiss my flip side. If my son is sick every 3 days and I'm using that as an excuse just to get out, and I have not proven that I'm actually a worthy worker or have not created a reputation of being a worthy individual, yeah, management will second guess my words. Should I be mad because they don't know nothing either? Nah. You have to build your own reputation in order for management to respect the individual you are. And I have plenty of videos on how to carry yourself. But as far as management goes, all the way up to the top. When you have, Postmaster General that doesn't know the price of a stamp, well, how are you running this business? Doesn't make sense. If you don't know the price of a first class mail, then or a priority, then how is it that you're running this business? And as far as I'm concerned, I don't know that, so I couldn't be a manager of a distribution clerk or window clerk. I could not, because I don't know the ins and outs. So I implore anybody that's looking into being a manager, please do diligent and do not become a product of the individuals that you despise. Learn, and during your learning process, do not kick those down beneath you. I see it every day. I see supervisors on the dock, these 204Bs, that will specifically target other individuals that they may feel intimidated by, women. I'm going to just call it what it is, because a woman may have a relationship with a worker and then they see another woman come in. Women get jealous over everything. That's y'all know I ain't lying. I ain't picking at women. I ain't lying. But then they say, "Oh no, you need to work at a different area because one individual is friendly with the person." It gets petty. It's petty. Managers have to have a specific mindset where they know there's a job that needs to be done and know how to structure the job in order to reduce the amount of chaos, because that's what we deal with every day is chaos. There's a difference between chaos and organized chaos. Organized chaos is expected, but it's put in a structure, and then it's just straight chaos. If you tend to want to be, I am sweating because it is hot. If you want to be a manager, make sure that you know your craft, so that you don't create more chaos in on top of the chaos that we're already dealing with. I can go on and on for days. You guys, please tell your crazy stories, because people read these stories and they feel like, I'm not alone. And I see these 40, 50, a comment that will have 40, 50 responses behind it, because people relate to each other. A person in Cali is relating to a person in Georgia because they're going through the same thing. So tell your stories. Let people know you're not alone. I appreciate you because I am able to pass that information on to those that don't read the comments. All right, this is JH. I just had to talk about it before I went into the organized chaos, the disorganized chaos. But we don't want to bore you. We out of here. Gotta finish my coffee.